to talk. Welcome to the stream, everyone. Oh, man. I just saw something a little while ago that shows that Donald Trump has the government of Denmark in complete freak out panic mode over Greenland. And I'll tell you what Denmark did that shows that they're really freaking out in Denmark over Greenland. Now, Greenland, just so you know, Greenland has a very, very small population. Most of the population is the Inuit Indians, which are what Eskimos are, Inuit. They're native to Greenland. Denmark, tiny little country in Europe, has been exploiting the people, the native people, the Inuits of Greenland. There's a lot of very valuable minerals in Greenland. I mean, like some of the rarest, most valuable minerals on Earth are in Greenland, and the natives of Greenland don't benefit from it. They are exploited by Denmark, and Greenland is very important, not just because of that, but because of its location with the Arctic. And China and Russia, of course, are thinking they're taking over that whole area up there. We have a military presence, and the president wants to increase that presence. So he's going to take it. I mean, he's going to take it, and Greenland is going to become part of the United States. I'll tell you what the government of Denmark did that shows that they're in a complete panic in just a minute. But the thing with the people of Greenland, the President Trump said the other day that he's not even sure that Denmark's claim over Greenland is legit. Did you hear that? Just like he also said he's not so sure that the U.S.-Canadian border is set in stone either. And Denmark gave the Greenland the right many years ago to decide their own future. And what they can do is at any particular time have a vote. The people of Greenland can vote to become their own country, to stay as part of Denmark, or join the United States. It's up to them. There's this strange person parking next to me. I don't know exactly what they're doing, but hey, it's 6:13 in the morning, right? In a dark parking lot in front of Starbucks. A lot of strange people coming home and getting up at these early hours of the morning. Okay, so anyway, just a homeless guy on his bicycle. Okay, he's riding off. So what Trump will do, and they're already doing this, is do a profit sharing with the natives in Greenland. And what I mean by that is it's like in Alaska, all the residents of Alaska every year get a check from the state government for their share of the oil profits, right? Or here in the United States, like in Florida, we have the Seminole tribe of Florida. And the Seminole tribe, they have casinos and hotels and smoke shops, and they make a lot of money. Every member of the Seminole tribe gets a check every month for thousands of dollars, which is their share of the casino, hotel, and smoke shop profits. And it's a lot of money. And if they live on the reservation, they don't have to pay taxes, but they make so much money. A lot of them live in very fancy neighborhoods off the reservation. And President Trump will offer the natives of Greenland that kind of arrangement. He's going to make them all rich. They live in poverty now. They're completely exploited, okay, by Denmark. And when they go to a vote, it's going to be easy. He has to get, there's, the last census, I think they said there were 57,000 native Greenland residents. And how many of them are children? How many of them can vote? So he has to convince, let's say, 30,000 maybe less, say 30,000 of them to vote to join the United States. That's not that many. And it seems very, very doable. So, what Denmark did that I saw this morning on YouTube, right before I came here to get my morning coffee, the foreign minister of Denmark, who speaks English so well, my goodness, with hardly any accent, he made a very desperate video talking about how the United States and Denmark are allies, that they consider us allies. They still, and we've been allies for a long time. This is the foreign minister of Denmark, and he understands that the United States feels they need a stronger military presence in Greenland, and they want to talk to the United States government about it and work that out. It was a very desperate video. It's on YouTube. The Danish foreign minister. Go and watch it when you're done watching me. And it was one of those moments you could tell that Denmark is in a complete panic that they're going to lose. They're going to lose Greenland, and they've been raping and pillaging Greenland for so long. That's probably a lot of money for them, tiny little country. So Trump taking Greenland for the United States is real. This is not some game he's playing. He is so serious about it. And, if he were to acquire Greenland, remember, this would be the largest single land acquisition in American history. It's more territory than even the Louisiana Purchase, which I don't even know if they teach about the Louisiana Purchase in school anymore. You never know. With these wackadoodle woke school teachers and everything we have. But I could tell that Denmark is in a complete panic. Yes, ID is going to be on the cruise. The cruise leaves today. But it's early in the morning. And I was up early today finishing my packing. And I'll be heading to the cruise ship in a few hours. I was actually just looking over the schedule of our events for, the whole week, but particularly today. So ID is going to be on the cruise. If any of you others are going to be on the cruise, I look forward to seeing you later today. We're going to have a great time. I'm excited. I packed most of my things days ago, but, the final things I got to pack today. Oh, it'll be good. I will be checking in on YouTube throughout the week, guys, internet permitting. We have the Starlink internet. And I did stream from the last cruise a little bit, but I'm going to stream more on this one. Yeah, this is 7 days. We leave today and return next Sunday. It goes by quick. It goes by so quick, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. But I will be on YouTube quite a bit while I'm on the cruise, and checking in with you guys. Internet connectivity permitting. I mean, I'll have internet, but it's whether or not the internet will be strong enough for me to live stream. That's the question. Greenlanders hate us. Doesn't seem that way to me. I saw Don Jr. go. I've seen JD and his wife go. It seems like the people of Greenland love the Trumps, love this country. I see young guys over there wearing Make America Great Again hats like this. On election night, President Trump had at the Mar-a-Lago election night watch party, he had one of the top influencers from Greenland there with him at Mar-a-Lago. So things are going just incredibly perfect and well. I'm excited. And I would love to bring Greenland in as part of the United States. Think what a boom that would be. How many Americans would travel to Greenland if they became part of the United States? And the way they're talking is not a territory, but actually making them a state. I think that's awesome. Oh, be beautiful. And the natives of Greenland would be so rich. And the funny thing about it, like these idiot trolls in here, the Democrats, the liberals, they're going to have to actually argue to oppose Greenland becoming part of the United States, which will be up to the native Inuit Indians of Greenland to decide, because those are the natives of Greenland. The left, the Democrats, and these idiot trolls are going to have to defend the European colonialist power, well, not so much anymore, Denmark, and argue that a European colonial nation should maintain control over this territory from the native indigenous people that live there. So that's going to be a lot of fun to watch them. The United States is the most diverse country. We're the most diverse country in the world. We're the opposite of that. If this was a racist country, we wouldn't be so diverse. The United States is the only major country to have a black president. There have been other countries with black leaders, but they've always been third world. We're the first major nation to have a black leader. What kind of... I didn't vote for him because Obama's a liberal idiot, but if we're a racist nation, why did we elect and re-elect a black man to be our leader? No other major country has done that. Doesn't even make sense. I don't know. Japan's pretty racist against white people. Uganda, I doubt that. No. We are so diverse. We've got every ethnicity, every religion, sexuality. We got everything. It's not up to Denmark. It's up to the people of Greenland to decide. And they are nervous, Denmark. I could tell. You watch the Danish foreign minister on YouTube and his message. He was in a panic. They probably had him do it because he speaks English so well. He was easier to understand than Jasmine Crockett. My coffee is too hot to drink right now, and I need the caffeine. Let me turn some lights on. There we go. We're in semi-dark MAGA mode. If you're coming on the cruise, make sure to bring your MAGA gear. I got all my MAGA stuff packed. My MAGA hats, my Trump shirts, and I even got a new one that I haven't even worn yet, my Gulf of America shirt I just got the other day. Oh, JD's awesome. Did you guys see JD's Marine Corps recruitment video? It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Oh, Phil, don't say stuff like that. That's not good to say. Knoxville, Tennessee. It is definitely a good morning. A definite good morning. I've been up for hours doing stuff, though. I was just, right before I left, I was packing up all my computer stuff so I can live stream. I am not caffeinated yet. They give me the steamed milk again, and I got to let it cool out. It's too hot to drink. Oh, yeah, we'll have a great time. And this is the newest cruise ship in the Celebrity Fleet, so that'll be very nice. I've been on it. I took a tour of it. It smells like a brand new car. It's so new. It has that new car smell to it. I am almost ready to go. I got to finish packing up my electronic equipment, my computers and my charging cords and everything else, my microphones and vlogging gear, because I'm gonna try to live stream normally from my cabin during the week, but we'll see how the internet is. The internet works well, but live streaming takes more internet power than sometimes you have. It's the Elon Musk Starlink internet. Let me tell you, we had it on the last couple of cruises. It is so fast. Icebergs in the Caribbean? I don't think so. If there was an iceberg in the Caribbean, it'd be like the biggest story in the world. Oh, yeah, Vance 28. Greenland would probably become part of the United States during President J.D. Vance's term. You know, it's a process. We haven't acquired new land like this in so long. I don't know how many people know the process. You know, Alaska and Hawaii became states, but they were territories for a long time. We haven't acquired new land in over 100 years since the Spanish-American Wars, when we got Puerto Rico, Guam, um, American Samoa. Did we get the Virgin Islands in the Spanish-American War too? We're going to the Virgin Islands. I don't know. Are we going to the American or the British Virgin Islands? I don't know. I forgot. Do you know idea? Are we going to the British Virgin Islands or the American Virgin Islands? It's all the same. They're beautiful. In the American Virgin Islands, they drive on the left side of the road too, just to be consistent with the British side. Yeah, both are nice. The American. Oh, Patrick's going to be on the cruise too. Yeah, I am 99% packed. I just always worry that I'm going to forget a charger for my phone or my computer or my camera. Oh no! You watch the Danish foreign minister. They got the member of their cabinet that speaks the best English, and he's trying to set up a summit meeting with Marco Rubio to try and JD Vance and try to settle this. They know Denmark knows they've been screwing Greenland over. The people in Greenland are pretty poor, and Greenland is rich. Gold, all kinds of things there. And think about the boom for tourism on top of it, right? Like we're taking a cruise. Maybe we'll take a cruise to Greenland if they became part of the United States. Oh, did you see JD when he got there? JD, I never heard JD use profanity before. JD's, when he went in with those, I don't know if they were Marines or Army soldiers, but he said, it's cold as shit here. And that's saying a lot because JD is from Ohio and it gets cold in Ohio. Well, you know, I don't want to buy any chargers because who knows if they'll have the charger for my device. I've got my vlogging cameras. I'm bringing 2 laptops just to have a laptop as a backup. So I got 2 computer chargers because they take different chargers. I've got my phone that I'm streaming on now. I've got to be able to charge my wireless microphone, and I'm bringing my equipment to live stream on YouTube this week on my computer, if I could, you know. So I bring a lot of. I've got 1 suitcase that's just electronic equipment, and I bring my equipment to connect to the radio station every time we go on the cruise, just in case there's like a major news event, and we're on the cruise. I can connect on the radio and do a live radio show. Right? If there's like something major, like a disaster or some major news, I can broadcast on the radio from the ship. I do that every cruise, just in case. You never know. I mean, if we're out on the cruise and some major, super insane story breaks, we're going to want to be able to be on the radio to talk about it, right? So I could even set it up to take calls from the ship, but I don't know if I would do that. If there was some major breaking news event, I don't know if I would set it up to take calls. Oh, yeah. The weather is going to be great. It's going to be great. And we're sailing south towards the equator. So on Tuesday, we'll be in the Dominican Republic. Puerto Plata. I'm very excited. I've been up for hours, you know, getting everything together. I had all my clothes already packed. What I'm packing up now is just my electronics. You know, so I got 2 laptops. I bring an iPad so I can use as a second monitor when I'm using my computer. My radio equipment and microphone. I have, of course, my cell phone with all that goes with that. I've got 3 vlogging cameras that I take. And of course, everything has a charger. My wireless microphones. Not only do I bring my radio station mic, I'm bringing 2 extra mics just in case. Like if something were to really break, so we could go on the radio, I need more than 1 microphone. So I'm bringing 3 radio microphones. Did you see that they're talking about, yeah, it's one suitcase that's just electronic equipment. Did you see that they're thinking of changing the district, Washington D.C. to Washington, the District of America? They're thinking of changing it from District of Columbia to District of America. That is so good. That would be amazing. What do you think about that? That would be a great thing to do. And I don't know, would that have to be a decision made by Congress? I don't know. When do I sleep? Not very much. Very, very little sleep. I fell asleep last night watching television. Yeah, the District of America. That would be amazing. I'm surprised they didn't do that in the beginning. The District of America. Yeah, well, yeah, the abbreviation wouldn't be too good. Washington District of America. I like that. District of the United States of America. I don't know. District of USA, then you could have. Oh, Elon is awesome. You know, I was talking on my podcast last night, which you guys should listen to. Very good podcast episode I uploaded last night. It's got Elon in the thumbnail. Laura Loomer I believe Laura Loomer is directly working for the president. The information she's getting is so good. Let's see if this coffee's cooled off, because she really broke some big stuff over the weekend. I go through all the details on the podcast, but I'll give you a brief overview. But check out the podcast for the details, okay? And she was talking about the Signal Gate and what the Signal Gate is really about, and why they went to such extremes to have this Chinese operative that works for Mike Waltz to cause this scandal. And she said, if you notice, and she's got a lot of information that backs this up. She says, if you notice, the talk from Washington is about Pete Hegseth resigning, not Mike Waltz, or being fired or replaced. Pete Hegseth. So why is that? Now, my original thought was, well, I guess, the military-industrial complex, and all that. Well, what came out through Laura Loomer's investigative reporting, and no one can convince me that she's not working directly for the president. There's no way. She absolutely is. Because the information she's getting on the story she's reporting on, the information is so good, it has to be. But anyway, she said that Bill Kristol, who's a big never Trumper, remember Weekly Standard, the Washington establishment, golf club elitist jerks. They think they're better than Trump. These golf club elitist Republican establishment think they're better than Trump. He owns the golf clubs, right? And I don't mean just a golf club set like I got in the garage. I mean, he actually owns golf clubs where you go and play golf resorts. Bill Kristol has been leading this charge of the media of Pete Hegseth being fired or stepping down and being replaced. And Tom Cotton wants that job. And Laura Loomer said that Tom Cotton, the polls are showing he's going to lose his primary. He's going to be primaried. And he wanted the defense secretary job in the beginning, but he wants it now. And Bill Kristol's son has been working for years for Tom Cotton. And Wong, the Chinese spy that started the Signal chat, that's the aide to Michael Waltz, is he was pushed into that position by Tom Cotton. He's there because of Tom Cotton. So Tom Cotton's behind the whole thing. It's about making Tom Cotton the defense secretary. And it's not just something, okay, let's give Tom Cotton something. The establishment do not have any saboteurs in the Trump cabinet or his staff around him, because everyone there is so loyal and so MAGA. So they want to put in a spy. They want to put in someone who's going to leak, and they want to put in someone who's going to be screwing Trump over all the time. And they want Tom Cotton in there. And if you remember, Tucker Carlson was reporting a few weeks back that Tom Cotton was trying to stop the release of the JFK files. He is a bad dude. And if you listen to my podcast episode that I uploaded last night, which is on all podcast platforms, the Brian Craig Show podcast, but it's also here on YouTube. It's got Elon in the thumbnail. I go through all the details of it, and it's amazing. I was amazed when I go through it. You'll be like, oh my goodness! I mean, this guy. So that's what the whole Signal chat scandal is all about. It was manufactured by Tom Cotton, Bill Kristol, and his cronies. You can't trust Senator Tom Cotton. I don't hear anything other than bad about him. I know he denies it all, and he seems all right on TV, but you can't trust that guy. His name keeps coming up. And remember, anything Laura Loomer reports, you can take to the bank. Her reporting is always factual. I've never known her not to be right with her reporting or conclusions. If Laura Loomer says it, it's reality. That coffee with the steamed milk they put in there is about almost as hot as the McDonald's coffee in the 80s. Oh yeah, she is. There's no reporter that's as accurate as her. I mean, it's really fascinating, when you get to find out what's really going on, because this Signal chat thing just seems so bizarre. The story's kind of disappeared now. It's fading away, but that's what's behind it. I'm glad we have some of our cruisers here from out of town too. People from out of town that have flown in. I can't wait. I can get on the ship earlier than anybody because it's my group, so I can get on. I could get on at like 9 o'clock, but I'm not. I'm gonna do some things around the house. Hang out with my wife a little bit before I go. Yeah, welcome. If you're new to my channel, my name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure that you subscribe. All right. And as I was saying, I will be on YouTube live streaming when I'm on the ship this week. I don't know who's delusional, Rick. Me? What am I delusional about? I might not be fully awake because I'm under-caffeinated, but delusional? I don't think so. Yeah, so I fell asleep last night watching this Canadian show. What's the name of the show? It's a show like from the 90s, early 2000s. I'm not sure when it was on. Called it's kind of funny. It's called Corner Gas. Anybody ever hear of Corner Gas? It's kind of funny. I fell asleep watching that last night with my wife. I loved how Trump said that when he was talking, it was last week or the week before, and he said the Canadian border with the United States, he says that border, that somebody just drew a line on a map. And what he's saying is what Trump is saying is he's not sure that border, that our northern border is the border, that maybe it's further north. He's not recognizing the Canadian border. I thought that was pretty clever. Who made the agreement? When was that agreement made? Made with England? I don't know about that. Oh, yeah. He's trolling people. That's what he's doing. Oh, Trump is awesome. I mean, it's awesome. It's so nice to have, it's like, this is the deal, okay? We've been led, really, other than Trump's first term, all the other presidents, Reagan's the exception, but we've been led by corrupt public officials, sex fiends, racist Obama. Did I say corrupt? That's Biden. And just total imbeciles that don't care about any of us. And to have a president and an administration that love the country, aren't corrupt, aren't racist, love the country and the people, it's nice. It just feels good, doesn't it? It feels great. You know, and it's like a new feeling because we really never experienced that. I mean, I remember when Reagan was president, but it was, you know, I was a kid, I was, and I can remember when my earliest presidential memory, I can remember Ford and Carter debating, but I was really little. Oh, it's amazing. You know, Charles Payne had the best line on Outnumbered a couple days ago, okay? Charles Payne was the one lucky guy on Outnumbered, and they were talking about that MS-13 arrest that Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, were at. And they played some clips of the press conference with Pam Bondi and Kash, and Charles Payne said, it's not that there's a new sheriff in town. There actually is a sheriff in town now, right? Because we've had these outlaws that have been letting these rapists and killers into the country and setting them up. And it's so nice. You know what I mean? It just feels good. And there was a great story. The Disney and ABC are in huge trouble, okay, with this DEI. The FCC is investigating ABC Disney for their DEI practices, that didn't earn it. And because ABC is a broadcast network, they fall under, because they have actual television stations, they fall under the FCC. And what they're being investigated for is racial discrimination and sex discrimination, because they're discriminating against men and white people with the DEI policy. And I'm excited about that because they're obviously doing it. They're going to be found guilty of it, and it's going to really set a precedent with these other countries. It's hilarious. Who would have thought something like that would happen? Because what woke was doing with that senile, corrupt coot Joe Biden is they were legalizing discrimination against white people. And I just thought, wow. Disney, they're so woke. I let my Disney annual pass expire, which I've had forever and ever. And I've not been to Disney in over a year and a half. And the last time I went there, I should show you guys the video. The last time I went there, I went to Disney World to interview a YouTuber that I'm friends with. And I took some of my podcasting equipment, just a little portable recorder, and they wouldn't let me in. They called Disney security and wouldn't let me in. It was crazy. And that was the last time I went. And that was like a year and a half ago. I still interviewed. They wouldn't let me in, so I interviewed my friend at one of the Disney hotels. But I let my Disney annual pass expire because they're too woke. They're too woke. They're removing something from the park, which is one of the most American things they have there, and it was just too much. There's an FCC commissioner. I cannot remember his name. They're not a cabinet member, but they're the commissioner of the FCC. Oh, they're screwed because they're most definitely discriminating against white people and men. Look at the TV commercials. I was watching, see, this is what's happened in Hollywood. I was watching yesterday, the Discovery Channel has this new series on this new crime series, and they had an episode about Stephen Collins. Are you guys familiar with Stephen Collins? Stephen Collins is an actor. He played the father on that show, Seventh Heaven. And his wife is an actress by the name of Faye Grant, who I was a big fan of growing up. She was on The Greatest American Hero. She was one of the students in Greatest American Hero, and she was the star of V, the miniseries. And Stephen Collins, it turned out, is a freaking pedo, you know, and he's got a thing for little girls, you know, and they did this documentary on it. And they were interviewing the producer of the show, who had, of course, no idea that he was a pedo. And, but the show, Seventh Heaven, was a very Christian show. You know, the father was a local minister and a conservative minister, very Christian show. And he said nobody in Hollywood cared about that show. You know, people didn't talk about it around town. It was an Aaron Spelling show, but people around the country did. And, you know, he says, if you want to be successful in movies or television, you can't make things for yourself. You have to make them for the mass country. Well, what's going on with Hollywood now is they're making things for themselves in Hollywood. And that's why all the TV shows and movies suck. Oh, yeah, I'm going to be on this week from the cruise, guys. People have been asking me. Yes, I will be. Internet connectivity permitting. Now, I even shaved today with actually a razor blade, which I don't do too often. Now, you can't make stuff for yourself, right? You know, you got to make stuff for an audience, right? Like I give you, it's almost like they're making movies and television shows, not just for themselves, but they're like therapy for them. SNL sucks every night. I'll tell you what really sucks is that Saturday Night Live movie. Oh my goodness. Have any of you seen that? It's the worst. First off, it's like 30 years too late. And Lauren Michaels sucks. I watch movies and TV, but mostly old movies and old TV. You know, people do these mobile orders at Starbucks. I never do a mobile order at Starbucks, okay? And the reason I don't, when no matter what Starbucks I go into, you know, when they do the mobile orders, they put it on the counter for you with your name. People come in constantly and they touch every cup to see if it's their name on it. So by the time, unless you're there when they put it down, there could have been 5 or 10 people have touched your drink before you get it, you know? So I always go inside and order. Just a little tip. No, but things are going good. It's been, I mean, when is the last time, other than Trump's first term, when is the last time you felt the government was being led by Americans? I would say Ronald Reagan. We might have felt that way with H.W. Bush, but he's a creep. He's probably behind the Kennedy assassination. Yeah. Oh, Rachel Ziegler with the Snow White. You know, the thing about Snow White, because, you know, Mr. Walt Disney, the man, I'm not talking about the company. Mr. Walt Disney was a conservative, anti-union Republican. Okay? A very strong Republican. And the reason he built Disney World here in Florida is because it's not a union state, a right-to-work state. And he made the deal with the Republican governor. And Richard Nixon, he was very close with Richard Nixon. In fact, if you go online and you look at the opening day at Disneyland in California, there was a live television broadcast from Disneyland, and I guess it was, what, 55? Do you know who was hosting that? Who was hosting? Who do you think was hosting? Don't Google. Who do you think hosted the live opening day at Disneyland in California in 1955, live on television? Who do you think was the host? Who do you think? Anybody got any guesses? To show you how conservative, not Nixon, close. Yes, Reagan. That's right. Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan hosted the opening day in 1955 live on television from Disneyland in California. You ever see Nixon, or when Richard Nixon said, your president's not a crook, the people got a right to know, is their president a crook? Your president's not a crook. You know, he said that at a hotel at Walt Disney World here in Florida, in a ballroom of the Contemporary Hotel. And, of course, Walt Disney had Vice President Richard Nixon there at Disneyland as a guest. And a lot of the dealings that he got done, where they have their own government and a lot of other things, were through his Republican connections. So Walt Disney himself, the man, Mr. Walt Disney, was an uber conservative Republican. And at a time when being a Republican wasn't really as popular, because there were a lot of these FDR Democrats around then. And he'd be sickened by all this stuff. And Snow White, what they're missing with Snow White, I've got a biography. It's a very good biography of Walt Disney, the man Walt. It's this thick. I'm not exaggerating. It's a great book. And I read the whole thing. Snow White, Walt Disney himself was an innovative filmmaker. And Snow White was the first feature-length animated film. And that movie is what made Walt Disney respected in Hollywood and led to the whole company blowing up and having Disneyland and Disney World and all these things. Snow White was the premier accomplishment of Walt Disney that made him respected and worldwide famous. And for them to take that movie and turn it into this woke shit, yeah, he was a revolutionary, and he was, and no one, I don't think people know what a Republican he was. Because it's not talked about a lot. I talk about it because, people are like, oh, you're supporting, well, no, I don't support woke. I support a very conservative man's legacy. In fact, at the Hall of Presidents at Walt Disney World, where they have the presidential robots, when you walk in and you're waiting to go into where they have the animatronic robots, it's surrounded with a railing. It's the official Great Seal of the United States is in the carpet. And the Hall of Presidents is the only non-governmental building to have the official Great Seal of the United States in it. And Richard Nixon did that as a favor to Walt Disney because he was such a strong, loyal Republican. So don't let people tell you that Walt Disney was some liberal Democrat. He was a Reagan, Nixon-like, strong Republican conservative, and he would stop all this woke crap. And so would his brother, Roy Disney, if they were around. His brother, Roy, was the businessman. He was the dreamer, but, it was like Wozniak and Steve Jobs. But, no, the original Snow White is very good. I've seen it. But, no, he's a great Republican man. No doubt about it. And that's forgotten because these wokesters have just destroyed it, And you got to understand, when he was in California, Ronald Reagan was governor out there and everything else. California used to be a Republican state, and it very well may be again. There's more Republicans in California than in Florida. They've got like 100,000 more Republicans than we have. And, yes, we're awake. MAGA is awake. For sure. No doubt about it. We are awake. That's the one thing about getting old. As you grow older, you get so much more perspective because you just, you have more knowledge to draw upon. For your opinions are more educated, right, on things. But Disney is a great Republican company. At least it was. Yes, I am drinking Starbucks. Let me go through the chat a little bit here. There's a new poll that says California wants a Republican governor, a real Republican, not like Schwarzenegger, right? Well, I played a clip on my podcast the other day of Rob Lowe. I don't know if you guys heard this. Rob Lowe has a podcast, and he was interviewing the guy from Severance. I can't even remember his name. The main guy from Severance. And Rob Lowe, you know, he does this game show, and this blew my mind. He films that in Ireland. And Rob Lowe said that it is cheaper to send 100 crew members to Ireland to film an entire season of this game show than it is to walk across the lot and do it in California, because it's so expensive in California. And the guy from Severance said that, you know, they were in Parks and Rec together. The guy from Severance, whose name I can never remember, even though I do like Severance, I watch it. He said they filmed Severance on the same lot where they filmed Parks and Rec, and he says when we were doing Parks and Rec, it was busy. Every stage had a show going on or a movie. Now it's a ghost town. And Rob Lowe says they're not filming anything in Hollywood anymore. I've heard many actors say this. Even Harrison Ford said, I heard Harrison Ford say a few months ago that the only thing that they produce in Hollywood now are talk shows and game shows. And Rob Lowe said everyone in California should be fired. And he says they go to New York, they go to Mississippi, they go to Ireland because they give huge tax credits. He says New York gives a 40% tax credit. You know, Canada too. A lot of things are filmed in Canada because they don't have to pay the Screen Actors Guild, you know, and there's no residuals for the actors if they film in Canada. And what California is to liberalism what Cuba is to communism. Cuba shows you the failure of communism. California shows you the failure of liberalism in America, right? It really does. And I got to tell you, when I was in California wearing this same hat that I'm wearing now, I didn't have one person say a negative word to me. I did have some people give me some weird looks at the airport, like thought I was crazy, but no one said anything. I get more FUs here in Florida. You know, I was very surprised. And I think a lot of people, obviously there's a lot of liberals out there. I'm not crazy, but I think a lot of people in California feel held hostage. You know, on our cruise, a lot of people on our cruise are MAGA from California, even the Bay Area, the San Francisco Bay Area. Yeah, California's like, when I was growing up, California was 20% of the U.S. economy. I don't know what percent they are today, but it's a big state and it's important. But it really shows you the failure of liberalism. Did you watch that police chase in L.A. with that truck that was in the news over the weekend? I watch a lot. Since my daughter moved out there, I watch the local news online out there, and basically the news are police chases. This was one of the most insane police chases I've ever seen with this guy in this truck. It was crazy. And he stole this flatbed truck, and he crashed into so many cars before he finally crashed the truck and it couldn't drive anymore. And when he got out of the car, he was just walking down the street casually, trying to escape into the crowd. It was unbelievable. Yeah, I know. He was trying to get away, just casually getting away. Yeah, sadly, my daughter loves California, so I don't think she'll ever move back to Florida. She likes it out there. But, you know, it's like anything else, you know. Your world is what your circle is, you know. So she's very MAGA and conservative, and she's been out there over 2 years now. And I think she's more pro-Trump now than ever. I mean, she doesn't like the prices or the taxes, I'll tell you. But, you know, the prices are hard for her. Just starting out in life. She's 26, but, you know. How could you not like Trump? How could you not? I mean, the only people that would not like Trump are foreigners or American-hating Americans. That's it. That's it. How could you not love Trump? Yeah. You know. I mean, and look at the left. I mean, you know, the Never Trumpers, they shot Trump. They try to shoot him again. I still think something happened a couple weeks ago with those planes that went over Mar-a-Lago, because it happened 3 times on one day, and where they had to scramble the fighters. And then look at all this Tesla terrorism that's going on by the left, right? It's insane. The gun control libs are shooting bullets in the Tesla dealerships. Vandalism? No. I mean, they're, you know, if you're shooting into a car dealership, you're freaking not doing vandalism, you're like killing people. You know, bullets don't stop until they hit something. All right. I'm going to go home and finish packing up my computers. Yeah, if you saw my cabin with all the first thing I do when I get to the ship is unpack. First thing. And I get out all my computers and get everything set up. And I got a lot of space because I've got a cabin all to myself. So I'm alone in my cabin. So I got a lot of space, more space than most people. It's nice having your own cabin. And usually I sleep with you got like the sliding door in the cabin. I usually sleep with that open with the balcony, then sleep to the sounds of the ocean. It is amazing. Amazing. Yeah, I've been going on cruises since I was 18. I went on my first cruise when I was 18. And I love it. The cool thing about it is once you're on, it's like you're in a 5-star hotel eating Michelin star quality food, and it's all included. Like, you don't have to, it's like, everything's taken care of. Even the drinks are included. And it's nice, it's just living in comfort and being pampered and having a good time with good people. We have really good people on the cruise. Our cruise group are really nice people. It's really nice. And I was talking yesterday, some of my closest friends are people I've met on the cruise. Oh, it's nice. It looks nice, too. The sun's just coming up. I got to text Ian. He's our travel agent from Cruise and Travel Depot that does the cruises. So I was going to text him before the stream. I'm sure he's up, but I think it's safe to text him now. I don't want to text him too early and wake him up. but I'm sure he's up. He's going to be at the ship like at 9 o'clock. And he lives pretty far away, so I know he's up. The only thing I'm debating is if I should park at the port. My mother lives like down the street from the port. So I was thinking about parking at my mom's house and having her drop me off and then take an Uber to my mom's house after, or am I going to park at the port? I'm not sure. I'll probably park at the port. I get, you know, living in Florida is the best. I am usually home before most people are off the ship. When we get back next Sunday, I get off the ship with the first crew, the group. As soon as they let you off, I'm off. And a lot of people don't like to do that because you can have breakfast still when you're back at the restaurant and everything else. But I'm home so early. It depends on, you know, and the way that everything is so computerized now, you just walk off the ship and you're out, boom. So I usually, even though my mom lives right down the street, I pay through the nose to park there because, you know, I get home so quick. And my mom called me yesterday. She's like, oh, you know, why don't you park at the house? And that's where I grew up. My mom lives in the house I grew up in. Or I could take the Bright Line to the port, the high-speed train. There's all kinds of options I'm debating. But when I get back, I just like to be home. It's only like depending on traffic. Today's Sunday, it's like a 20-minute drive from my house to the port. But my mom is like 5 minutes away. Well, the weather is looking nice. I'm watching the sunrise over the ocean right now. It is looking nice. Oh, man. A great day to take a cruise. Well, listen, guys, if you're new, my name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure you subscribe. Everyone else, please like the video if you're already subbed. And like I said, I will be live streaming throughout the week on the cruise. Internet live streaming connectivity availability will determine how often and when. But I do plan on live streaming throughout the week, and I'm sure I'll be back later today, maybe when I'm going to the ship. So I'll see you later. Thanks for watching, everyone. This is where MAGA comes to talk.